Hello, third graders, and today we are going to look at different types of adjectives in grammar. So the first one we are going to look at is called comparative. Comparative. Now you can see that in this word, we see the word compare. If you are comparing something, you are comparing two things. Two things. So let me show you what that will look like. If I have a person on this side and I have a second person on this side and I want to use the adjective tall to compare these two, I could say that the first person is tall, taller than the second person. The important thing that I want you to see is that we added an ER at the end of our adjective. When we are comparing, we usually add an ER after the adjective. Let's look at another one. So let's say we have a flower. I know that flower is not very pretty. And then we have another flower over here. Now this may be your opinion, but the first flower and the second flower, we want to compare them using the adverb pretty. So the first, well, we'll do this the other way. So the second one is prettier. See that ER again, than the first one. Now, if there is a Y at the end of an adjective, we drop the Y and we add IER. Drop the Y and we add IER. That's how we change it from pretty to prettier. Let's try another one. So let's say we have a car and it is super, super fast. And then we have another car that's maybe not as fast. So our first car, and I want to use fast to describe them, my adjective, fast. My first car is faster, adding that ER, than my second one. Comparative compares two things. Two things. Okay, let's go ahead and recess, and we will look at superlative. So superlative adjectives describe three or more things. Three or more things. So let's use that first example we have. So I have one person right here, a second person right here, and a third person right here. And I also want to use tall. Three people. If I want to describe this person right here using the adjective tall, I would say person number 3 is the tallest. When we are comparing things using a superlative adjective, we use EST at the end of the adjective. Let's do the same thing with the flower. you have to have 3 or more things. So here's my first flower, my second flower, and my third flower. And I want to use the adjective pretty. And if I'm describing this third one in a group of 3 or more, I would say flower 3 is the prettiest. Same thing, we change the Y to an I and we add EST. Superlative, we add EST. And we'll do our final one using the cars. We have a car right here that is super fast. We have a car right here that is kind of fast. We have a car right here, which is just slow. If I wanted to describe this first one using the adjective fast, and I'm comparing it with all 3 of these, 3 or more, then I would use this car is the fastest of them all. The fastest. I use EST. On your work today, you are going to be changing an adjective from comparative, superlative, and the regular adjective. I'll give you a reminder that superlatives normally add an EST, and comparative, you normally add an ER. Now remember, there are those weirdos that might have a Y at the end that you'll have to change it to an I and add ED. There are a couple of other weirdos, and I want you to try to plug them into sentences to figure out the right word. We're going to do the word good. Now maybe you're thinking, Mrs. Tingley, gooder isn't a word. And you're right. If I'm comparing 2 things and I'm trying to say which one is gooder or better, we would use the word better. Better. So I'm actually not going to use the text box. I did that on accident. I'm going to click my arrow tool and type in better. Now if I'm comparing 3 things and using the adjective good, the top one would be the best. It would be the best. Now I chose 20 of these that will randomly be graded. Please make sure that you are using the arrow tool so it will grade it correctly, and then you'll be complete for your grammar for